Greetings to everyone here inhabiting Earth with me today. Thanks so much for coming back. And if you're new, welcome. I'm Jupe, and I'll be your guide. This is a beautiful Labradorite that my sister got me for my birthday this year. And I just think it's so gorgeous with all of those iridescent shifting colors within. I was feeling super guided to do another collective reading. So here we are. So this is kind of I'm always evolving, but this is my newest iteration of how I'm interacting with my cards. I like to shuffle 3 times, and then I'll go through and I'll see who wants to jump. All right. Let's see what we got. Spirit, do you have any messages that you'd like me to deliver to the collective today? Is there anything that you would like to say? Would you like to say to us today? Anything else? Anything else you want to know? What else would you like for us to hear or see? Woo. Okay. Temperance jumped out on the floor. The Empress. Wow. There's a lot going on. So, because of your Two of Swords, your Lovers, Pentacles and your Temperance and your Eight of Swords, let's be honest. I think that something in the world is demanding a decision of you. Something is requiring you to make a choice. The Lovers is kind of like, there's several choice cards in the tarot, but the Lovers is a special one because to me, it really symbolizes, makes me feel the way that you feel when you're making a choice in love, right? Which is different than just making a choice. Making a choice in love oftentimes has us, love is blind. Making choices based on what we can see out of the situation and possibly with rose-colored glasses on. We want to see the best when we're making this decision. We look for the best out of the situation. And so maybe there's a little bit of a bias going on, perhaps. But honestly, like the Empress says, having a bias for love is really kind of what the whole point is of everything on Earth, ever. Because if nobody ever told you, that's why we're here. That's a new thing that I'm learning in this experience, this lifetime of being alive. I do think I've had several others, and I do believe that most of us here on Earth at this point in time have. But, I don't really know how timelines actually work or how they actually manifest. I just know how I feel and what I see play out in front of me and what that makes me think and believe. But I think, the Empress card represents unconditional, enlightened, discerning, beautiful, abundant love. Because the Empress is the divine mother of the tarot. It represents unity, femininity, acceptance, receiving, intuition, emotionality. So I think if you're making a choice that's biased in the direction of love, excellent choice. I applaud you. As does the universe, I'm sure. The universe applauds you through me, I'm being told. So good job, because that's, the world really needs more of that. All the time, forever. Always has, always will, but particularly right now. Definitely does. So let's see what else we have. Temperance and the Hermit have similar ideas. Temperance has a butterfly, which is important, so does the Hermit. Perhaps these are considered moths. Regardless of what they are, I believe they go through the same metamorphosis. They start out as caterpillars and they grow and change into a completely different thing, basically. Like a completely different animal. They lose the legs that they had before. They don't eat the same thing. They really, 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 on a deep, deep level, are being reborn. I do think that this is a rebirth that may have required us to take some time for ourselves, may have required us to separate from things that maybe we always knew or we had like recently realized were no longer serving us in a positive way. And they may have just been kind of driving us down, kind of been a little unhelpful, maybe something we just outgrew, you know, like our cocoon. Maybe it's not even something outside of us really at all. I mean, cocoon is literally outside of whatever animal, you know. It's literally outside of the caterpillar. However, it's still a part of them, and it's a part of the metamorphosis that all of those insects go through. So even though it is this wildly transformative experience and it is quite isolating, you are still brought into unity with the rest of humanity and even with the insect world and just the microscopic, cosmic, quantum world in experience. You're still going through the same experience. It may look different. Maybe you're a monarch and somebody else is this moth, but we're all going through the metamorphosis. And the hermit is really about finding who you are. And temperance is about knowing who you are and waiting for the world or someone else to figure out who they are. So metamorphosis of love, a decision, a choice, another choice card of love. Very special here. It may kind of be a bit troubling. Maybe a bit troubling to shift over into pure, unadulterated, unbound love. Especially when we are kind of caught up in the way, and I just heard another reader say this and it's just ringing out in my brain, the density of the world that surrounds us. And the Eight of Swords is a representation of self-imposed restriction and like analysis paralysis. And so maybe you're really going within yourself quite a lot to really grab onto this concept of, you know, is this never-ending, boundless, discerning, but pretty boundless love for me? Is this what really I'm called here and meant to do with my life? Really? Because it feels like sometimes I really get kicked around and it makes me want to withdraw, makes me want to be by myself. It helps me to appreciate my own inner wisdom and who I am and get to know myself better. And those are all important things, all important experiences, all foundational in our development and our metamorphosis, right? Those are important. This is like the cocoon. This is the cocoon, no matter how it's manifesting for you. And you'll know what I mean, right? Right. It doesn't always have to be like a physical removal of yourself from structures that you were once a part of. It can really just be the shift from focusing on the energies outside of you to focusing on the energies that are within. But no matter what. Sometimes this change is scary. Sometimes we choose the love after much deliberation. And we put that out into the world. We have our new passion, and our new passion is love, and we are ignited to bring unconditional love into the world through our vessel, our tiny vessel. Tiny vessels. We all are. And maybe it takes a little bit of time to see that manifest in the world around us. Don't worry about the time. Don't worry. That message was so strong and so clear to me that it brought me to tears just now. Do not let yourself get caught up in the waiting game. I'm gonna get us a little bit of Palo Santo going. Maybe help me move through this energy. Help us all, right? I want to help us all. This is my calling too, people. This is my calling too. Clearly, if you couldn't tell by the tears. It's not always easy. It's not. It never has been. And I know that it can feel as if it kind of inherently should be, right? Because it's love. Why does there have to be an inherent struggle, even in love? The struggle is just the pushback of other people. The struggle is the world around us. The struggle is that everyone has free will. And it's sometimes, a lot of the time, a lot easier. It's a lot easier to move in the direction of vengeance and hate and retribution and personal pride and ego. Right? It's a lot easier. It calls all of us indiscriminately. But we are shedding the light of our ideas onto the world around us. We are fiercely defending our new idea, our new goal for life. Confirmation. Those loud cars. See, no matter what, like, I'm literally trying to deliver a message of hope and love and care and, like, my deepest condolences to all of you who feel these feelings. And we're met with loud, boisterous resistance, pushback, noise. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. What matters is that we showed up. We made the choice. We alchemized difficult emotion. We took the noise. And we disregarded it and we made our own noise. We had our own things to say, and while our noise may have been quieter, it's infinitely more profound and impactful and meaningful, and its legacy is going to live on much longer than the sound waves of of whatever noise the world is making at this very moment. It doesn't matter, because things are changing. Things aren't always going to exist in a space of prioritization of the loudest, of the most in your face, of the most staunch, the most willful, right? Things aren't always going to be that way. Mark my words. Mark Spirit's words. The wheel keeps on turning. No matter what. This has been really, really beautiful so far. I'm gonna... Oh, the sun went behind a cloud. I'm gonna light us up here a little bit more. This is really special. Cards, guys. Thank you, Spirit, for those. I think I want to ask for some clarity on the lovers. I'm going to take us to the guidebook for my tarot set and read you what they have to say about the lovers. Okay? Okay. Love, you are my lighthouse. When I am most lost in my benightedness, it is your light that reverberates in my heart. There is always a way to you, my beacon, even if the world were to tear us apart. And when you're resting, I am there in your dreams, your cup filling mine. When I leave, I will bring your love with me. I also want to take a look at the other choice card. Here we go. This is our other choice card today, Two of Swords, because I think that may also have some symbolism to offer us, and maybe some more direction as to what this choice might be manifesting as in your life. So the swords are the suit of the mental, they're the suit of air, they are thoughts, ideas. Stay guarded. This is a time of introspection, getting acquainted with what life looks like without the commentary of others. Even positive feedback at this stage is not helpful. You need silence in your thoughts. You are about to build something from the deep wells of your communion with Spirit. Imagine yourself with a blindfold on, without the rest of the world looking upon you. What is it that you truly desire? So yeah, this is the call from within us all to come into our purpose, to get connected with who we are at our deepest soul level, to find that meaning and to put it in loving motion. Let's see here. I'm gonna do the Oracle of the Radiant Sun first. Spirit, do you have any guidance about the energies that we are dealing with in the near future? Any guidance for us today? two sun cards. We have the sun in Leo and the sun in Capricorn. Let's see what the oracle has for us regarding those, shall we? The sun in Leo. A benign sun warms the world, its great rays giving a glow of creative life to the small planet. There's an element of game playing when this card appears in a reading. It denotes that whatever has gone before had a long-term strategy in which each move was countered with a new problem to solve. The Inquirer accepted the challenge each time and surmounted it. When the Fortune card appears with cards that are less auspicious, it has the power to lessen any negatives in the reading. Beautiful. We don't really have a lot of negative energy here. You know, riches, originality, romance. Beautiful. Indecision, speculation, and authority can be challenging, but we'll see what the reading has for us, okay? Let's take a look at the sun in Capricorn. A fortified city over which a large, impressive palace presides. In the sky is an opulent sun, and above it an idol in the form of a goat, which is the kind of sign of Capricorn, the sea goat. Often when one receives this card in a reading, it indicates a powerful moral sense and a feeling of obligation to set a good example for others. Those things go right along with what we got from the tarot today. That strong moral sense of knowing that we are called to deliver our love here on this earth, on this planet, all of these souls that we are surrounded by. And we all have kind of a slightly different iteration of that purpose, and it kind of presents itself in different ways, and we all have different mediums of expression. But the feeling of obligation to set a good example for others, this may be because one has been chosen or promoted to a role. So if you're here today, you are one of the chosen ones, chosen to walk this path of distinction, right? Capricorn is a very distinguished sign. They have a lot of drive, which is, I think, what we're gonna need to move through this challenge of existing in the world that we inherited, that is now in full effect in each of our lives. Let's see. I guess I'll do Venus next. What does she have for us? Venus in Taurus and Venus in Libra. Venus, where are you? Venus in Taurus. Taurus is the natural sign of Venus, so she's right at home here. When this card is drawn in a reading, it usually indicates for the questioner a pleasurable forthcoming event, probably with a little monetary gain attached. The best business relationship bet will succeed if concerned with one of the arts. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. It's very special. That kind of brought something together for me from earlier. When we are taking our rest, which for me, in this experience, it kind of happens in like ebbs and flows, right? Like some days I need way more time to myself, way more time away from other energy, more time in seclusion, more time to listen to my own heart than I do on other days. And you just have to listen to your body to figure out when the right time for you is, right? But like when we are in that energy of hermiting, the Ace of Wands is the card of a new creative drive or a new passion of the heart. And so I think Spirit is really trying to tell you, and me, and all of us, that if we look at life as a romantic dance, and we allow life to lead, and we flow, and we dance, move to the music, that maybe we are creative, maybe we write music, maybe we are some sort of visual artist, maybe we do performance art, maybe we do written art, maybe we cook, maybe we are homemakers and we take really, really, really pristine care of our homes. We're very clean. Maybe, however your art manifests in your life, I feel like we disconnect from the art of our daily living. And I think that Spirit wants us to get back in touch with the art in our lives, the art of our daily living. It's how you romanticize your life. Let's check out Venus in Libra. I have a lot of Libras in my life. I love them very dearly. They're very special to me. Just a little aside. In Libra, Venus is also at home, as this is the sign she rules in company with Taurus. How fun. Two beautiful Venus cards where she is at home. Very special. If this card is drawn, it suggests that the questioner has to come to a stage at which a decision is imperative. There has been much dithering back and forth over an important matter, and now the time has come to be firm and take the consequences. This is, again, need I remind us of our choice cards that we got today? We have to choose love every single time. Now, of course, it's not pressure to be perfect here, but it's being so conscious within ourselves, which I believe comes from a place of knowledge and understanding of how much time you personally need to be hermiting, and the dance that we create with life when we look at everything as an expression of art, as an expression of what is inside of us. It's the most beautiful way to live. Okay, let's see what Mercury and Aquarius has for us. I'm sure it'll be good. I have that placement. My Mercury is in Aquarius, sign of originality. When this card is drawn, it demands that the questioner takes a lateral view and finds a new approach. An idea that necessitates drastic change, an unusual research result, a shock announcement, an invention, an innovation. We are being innovative and original by laterally and unilaterally choosing love and art and creation. Dun, dun, dun. Now we go to good old Saturn, where the Saturn is most comfortable in Capricorn, hence riches. Personal Saturn is in its happiest position in the sign of Capricorn. People with this placing feel a great need to make their mark on life. When Riches card appears in a reading, it usually points towards the successful conclusion of a financial arrangement or deal. The stock market, dealings with government organizations, involvement in politics, receiving an honor of some kind. So I think that this is ultimately the abundance. She's holding a cornucopia, as you can see. This is the abundance that we receive when we make that choice to be original and achieve romance in our daily actions. To be in love with life is what Spirit's calling us to do. But it's easier said than done, and believe me, I'm not coming from a place of having no difficulty. I am at life path number 11, if that means anything to anybody. I am a Pisces Sun, Scorpio Moon, Leo Rising. I have a lot of challenging aspects in my chart with Saturn and Chiron. I do not live a charmed life in the sense that I have no difficulty to overcome. That's not what it's about. It's not about having no difficulty. It's about choosing love anyway. Let's see what these guys might have to offer us. We have Mars in Capricorn, authority. Mars, Mars, Mars. Where are you, Mars? What do you have for us today? When this card appears, it can indicate a need for the questioner to take control of the situation by asserting authority. Alternatively, it may be necessary to seek the help of a person in power. Ambitious moves requiring great self-control. Being in a position of power over less reliable people. A lonely job with great responsibility. Seeking help from someone in a position of authority. So, this is really another symbol for us today of we have spiritual authority. Regardless of what you believe about how we came to be on earth, we have the personal authority in our lives and the spiritual authority within the collective to make that decision and choose love. And finally, we have Jupiter in Cancer, which is a very interesting combination. Let's see, where are you? Jupiter, where are you? Jupiter, oh, here you are. Silly Jupiter, always hiding from me. When this card is drawn during a reading, it encourages the questioner to look to his or her family for support and even financial help with regard to the question asked. Speculation card is also a good indication of successful outcome to an imminent property deal, a legal situation involving the home, running a family business from home, exploiting an inheritance to the benefit of the family. So this is very interesting. Support with the question being asked. It could be gained from the family. That is very Cancerian, to seek the support of the family. And of course, family does not have to be blood, so whoever it is that you may have chosen or recruited or elected to be your family, this is a perfect time to seek support from those circles. Nice. I think those made a lot of sense. I think they were beautifully delivered and communicated. Exactly what we needed to hear. Thank you, Spirit, for that advice. Next, I'm gonna take us for a little ride through the Prism Oracle. And we're going to talk about maybe what we might need to get through this. What might Spirit recommend to us during this time of the love revolution that we are in. Okay. And offer to us, Spirit. What might we need to get through? I just got what might we need? Whoa! Interesting. This is not, as we discussed, an easy road. You know, nobody said it was easy. If they did, they lied. Many times, what we end up dealing with in our lives when we are just trying to exist in our happy little bubble of white light, or our cloaked bubble of obsidian black protection, whatever it may be, we are going to encounter anger, frustration, hunger, death. All of these things, right? We need to understand that these things are going to exist. And the rebirth doesn't mean that we don't feel, right? The rebirth of of choosing love actively day in and day out does not hint at the idea that you never lose your cool, you never want for anything else, you never feel unfulfilled, you never get frustrated, you never witness death, right? These things are not to be pushed out and excluded from our lives. It's a narrative that nobody needs. We have to take the good and the bad. They work together in harmony, in unison. Both sides are important. Both sides are valid. The rebirth comes when we realize that even after we have experienced difficult, heart-wrenching, really impactful experiences in our lives, right? The rebirth is still every time choosing love. That is going to get us where we want to be. All of us as a collective. And it's contagious, you know? Something that I learned is very important to me through my own personal journey of evolution regarding love and life is that punishment doesn't work. This is a psychological principle that I learned in college. I didn't finish college. I went for a couple semesters, but that doesn't mean it's not true. Punishment doesn't work. Yes, it's true. Punishment doesn't work. I'll say it 3 times. In this world, some of the stuff that happens to us, some of the things that we see and experience, it can feel like punishment, but that's never what it is. It's the result of many, many free will decisions stacked on top of each other, building the reality that we see around us. And when we finally realize that all we need to return to our home base, always, if we keep our focus, our compass pointed due north toward love, we can get through anything that may come to pass. That was an absolutely gorgeous reading. I feel so lucky to have been able to deliver that. And I also feel even luckier that you were here to receive it. I hope you all take care and that you make the choice and that you choose love. I love you.